The night always came softly, like it was careful not to disturb her, and in that quiet darkness she finally felt like she could breathe. Her name was Lyra, a girl who spoke very little during the day, not because she had nothing to say, but because somewhere along the way, she learned that people rarely stayed long enough to listen. In the corner of her small room, beside a window that showed only a slice of the sky, sat her only companion, a gray cat named Mino. Every night, when the world outside grew silent and the distant sounds faded into nothing, Lyra would sit cross-legged on her bed and gently pull Mino close. "Alamo, Mino," she would whisper, her voice trembling just a little, as if even the air might judge her. The cat would simply blink, slow and calm, its quiet presence wrapping around her like a soft blanket. And somehow, that was enough, because in her heart, Lyra had begun to believe something deeply, that silence was safer than words, and that not being heard hurt less than being misunderstood. It was a quiet realization she never spoke out loud, but it lived inside her, shaping how she moved, how she smiled less, how she avoided eyes that might ask questions she wasn't ready to answer. During the day, she noticed how people laughed loudly, how conversations overlapped, how no one really waited for pauses, and she learned to shrink herself into those pauses instead. Another truth slowly formed inside her. When you feel ignored long enough, you start to ignore your own voice too. But at night, everything changed. With Mino beside her, she allowed her thoughts to exist again, pouring them out in soft whispers, sharing fears she could never explain to anyone else. She wondered if something was wrong with her, if maybe she was just too much or maybe not enough, a confusion that quietly grew into a habit of self-doubt. Yet, every time Mino stayed, unmoving, unbothered, she felt something else too, a fragile comfort, like maybe presence alone could heal something words never could. And so, night after night, she returned to this quiet ritual, unaware that her mind was slowly building a world where safety existed only in silence, and connection was something she could control, even if it was only with a cat who never spoke back. The nights grew deeper, and with each passing evening, Lyra's whispers became longer, heavier, as if her heart was slowly learning to open only in the dark. One night, the wind outside howled louder than usual, brushing against her window like soft knocking, and for a moment, she froze. "Narinig mo ba, Mino?" she whispered, her fingers tightening slightly around the cat's fur. Mino only stared ahead, calm as always, but something inside Lyra shifted. A quiet thought crept in. What if even this safe world she created could disappear? It was the first time she felt fear inside her own refuge. She had always believed that controlling her space meant controlling her pain, but now she realized something unsettling. The more she depended on silence, the more fragile her safety became. Still, she continued to speak, telling Mino about her day, about the people she watched but never approached, about the words she rehearsed in her mind but never said out loud. She began to notice a pattern within herself, that she could imagine conversations perfectly, but when reality came close, her chest tightened, her thoughts scattered, and she chose quiet again. It was easier that way, she convinced herself, because expectations could not hurt you if you never gave them a chance. But deep inside, another realization slowly formed, one she tried to ignore. Avoiding pain was also avoiding connection. One evening, as she spoke, her voice suddenly cracked, and she stopped. The silence that followed felt different, heavier, almost unfamiliar. She looked at Mino, waiting, hoping for something, any movement, any sign that she was truly being heard. But Mino remained the same, quiet, still, unchanged. And for the first time, the silence didn't feel comforting. It felt empty. Her heart raced softly, not from fear of the outside world, but from a new awareness growing within her, that maybe she had mistaken stillness for understanding. The room felt colder that night, the shadows stretching longer across the walls, and Lyra hugged her knees closer, unsure of what she was beginning to realize. Because somewhere between her whispers and the quiet responses of the night, she was starting to see the truth she had been avoiding, that while silence protected her, it was also keeping her alone, and the longer she stayed inside it, the harder it became to step out. The next night came, but it did not feel the same. Lyra sat in her usual place, Mino beside her, the quiet wrapping around them like it always had. Yet something inside her refused to settle. She opened her mouth to speak, "Mino," but the words stayed there, hanging, uncertain. For the first time, she questioned the comfort she had trusted for so long. She looked at the cat, at its stillness, and realized something gentle but painful, that it had never truly understood her, it had only been there. And maybe, she thought, presence alone was not the same as connection. Her chest tightened, but not in the same way as before. This time it felt like something was trying to grow, something unfamiliar but alive. She remembered the way people laughed during the day, the way voices overlapped, imperfect and messy, and she began to see that maybe connection was not supposed to be quiet or controlled. Maybe it was supposed to be uncertain. That idea scared her, but it also gave her a small kind of hope. She slowly reached for the window and pushed it open, letting the night air enter her room, cool and real. For a long moment she said nothing, just listening, not to silence, but to the distant sounds of life continuing outside. And then, softly, almost as if she was testing her own courage, she spoke again, but this time not to Mino. She spoke into the open space. Her voice trembled, but it did not disappear. In that small act, she understood something she had never allowed herself to believe, that her voice did not need perfect safety to exist. It only needed a chance. Mino remained beside her, quiet as always, but now she no longer needed it to replace the world. Instead, it became what it was always meant to be, a companion, not a refuge. Lyra took a deep breath, feeling the fear and the hope mixed together, and for the first time, she did not run from either, because she finally understood that loneliness had shaped her, but it did not have to define her. And maybe, just maybe, the world outside was not only a place of judgment, but also a place where someone might listen, even if imperfectly. And if this story touched something inside you, if you saw even a small part of yourself in Lyra, then remember this: you are not alone in learning how to be heard. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.